The NBA, as we know, has 30 teams as of the recording of this video, and expansion is always a constant rumor as the league continues to grow more popular. Rumors have especially started to heat up. A report came out not too long ago that the league could possibly expand to make up the lost money due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So today I wanted to talk about possible cities the NBA could expand to. But before we do get started with today's video, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to hit the like button as it really helps out the channel and it shows your support for this content. Especially do it on this video. I did plan on doing this video for a while, but I was not sure if it was going to do well, so I did hesitate on it. But I thought some of you guys would like this, and I also wanted to do this video personally, so I decided to do it. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you guys are new and enjoy the content on here so you do not miss out on any new videos. I'm also trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean a lot to me if we could reach that goal, as these videos take a lot of hard work and effort. And as a special, I will react to my first 2 videos I ever made on this channel. So if you guys want to see that and enjoy the content on here, make sure you guys subscribe. But with that being said, let's hop straight into today's video. And let's start off with a very obvious choice. I'm just going to get out of the way. The first things first, and that is Seattle, Washington. And this is a crazy obvious choice, alright? Fan interest is just crazy high, and people have been advocating for Seattle to get an NBA team again for a really long time. Fan interest, as I said, is really high, and as many of us know, the Oklahoma City Thunder used to be based in Seattle, and they were known as the Supersonics. However, the reason why they had to relocate to OKC is because, well, even though fan interest was high, they tried to build a new stadium, but they couldn't, and yeah, because of that, they had to relocate. I'm not going to get into the entire story. You guys can definitely do your own research on that, but I think an NBA team should definitely come to Seattle. I mean, first off, Seattle's a big market, so there's that for you. The fan interest is crazy high, as I've said before, and they already have 3 major sports teams. Well, 3, eventually that will come. They already got the Seahawks, they already got the Mariners, and next NHL season, I believe, they will have the Kraken. So they should definitely be in the top 2 cities the NBA should definitely expand to. But another obvious choice we should get out of the way is Las Vegas. And first off, Las Vegas, I don't see why the NBA would not expand there. I mean, first off, a lot of sports leagues are getting in on the Las Vegas action. I mean, the Raiders relocated to Las Vegas. The NHL, they got Vegas their own hockey teams in the Golden Knights, and Las Vegas has really just increasing fan interest. The fan interest is just going up, and I'm sure the people in Las Vegas would love it, as they are a big market, and I mean, getting 2 sports teams already would just be great. Now, one thing we can keep into account is that betting scandals could definitely increase with players and all, but I mean, aside from that, I don't see why the NBA would not want to come to Las Vegas. But moving on to my third city, it is Tampa, Florida. And I mean, the Raptors, as we all know, will be playing in Tampa this year. And if you ask me, this could definitely be a sign that maybe the NBA does decide to expand to Tampa. Now, there was some speculation when this did happen, when it was announced that the Raptors would be playing in Tampa. So, I mean, maybe that speculation is correct. I mean, first off, the Raptors playing there could definitely increase fan interest, as I'm sure many people will be watching a lot of Raptors games, so maybe they will want their own team. And I mean, the closest team I believe is either the Heat or the Magic. I mean, I don't live in Tampa, so if you guys are from Tampa, I mean, let me know in the comment section below. But Tampa is definitely a decently big market. Not only that, but they already got 3 sports teams in the Buccaneers, Lightning, and Rays. And recently, they've been enjoying some pretty nice success. And if all 3 of them, if they're all pretty successful, I mean, if all 3 of them are pretty successful soon enough, then I do think maybe that they want a basketball team. And if you ask me, a basketball team would be pretty nice, especially if fan interest starts to increase. But with that being said, let's move on to my next city, and that is Buffalo, New York. And some of you guys might disagree with me or might find this kind of strange, but hear me out. Alright, Buffalo, as we know, has 2 sports teams already, with the Bills and the Sabres. Toronto and New York are the closest cities, so I'm just going to guess that most NBA fans in Buffalo are Raptors, Nets, or Knicks fans. If you guys are from Buffalo, let me know how the NBA fans decide their teams. I'm curious. But the Bills have one of the rowdiest fan bases in North American sports, and the Bills have a really bright future. And I don't know too much about hockey, but anyways, I mean, with the Bills having a bright future, there is a chance that fan interest could definitely go up in Buffalo. And I'm sure Buffalo fans would love to have a football and a basketball team in the area if their sports teams start to do well. Now, obviously, there are already 2 New York teams, but I mean, if fan interest is pretty high, then why not expand to Buffalo? Now, it is not a huge market, but at the same time, if fan interest is high, I don't see why not move there. But anyways, moving on, let's talk about Kansas City, Missouri, which is my next city on this list. And Kansas City, like Buffalo, has 2 major sports teams, with the Chiefs and the Royals. And I'm sure with the future face of the NFL in Patrick Mahomes and KC, fan interest can definitely increase, with the Chiefs having probably the brightest future in the NFL, as I said before. And if their sports teams start to do pretty well, then maybe they do want a basketball team. I mean, the nearest basketball team I believe is the Thunder, and I mean, even then, that's kind of far. And I'm sure a lot of Kansas City fans would love a basketball team in their area that they can just drive to the stadium. I mean, assumingly not too far, and they can just watch them like that. And Kansas City is not a crazy small market, but at the same time, it's not huge. But even then, Kansas City, I mean, I'm sure with increasing fan interest and the fact that it's definitely a decently big market, I mean, I don't really see. I mean, there are some, how do I put it? Good reasons for why maybe the NBA could want to expand to Kansas City, if that makes sense. I mean, Kansas City is definitely a big option I do think the NBA should consider. Moving on, this is going to be a little bit kind of interesting, I guess, is Louisville, Kentucky. Now, Louisville is a really small market. However, they got some of the biggest college basketball fans with Louisville University and the University of Kentucky. And there is no professional sports team based in Kentucky. But given how big the college fans are, maybe a basketball team could be their first of many professional sports teams that Kentucky gets. I mean, I'm sure basketball is a pretty, popular sport in Kentucky, given how popular their college basketball teams are, and I'm sure a lot of them would love a professional basketball team. Now, the closest options they do have are the Cavaliers in Cleveland, the Pacers in Indiana, and the Grizzlies in Memphis. And even then, they aren't too close to Kentucky, so maybe the people in Kentucky would love a basketball team, especially given how big their college basketball fan base is. Well, Louisville's not a big market. I mean, given how big the fan interest could be there, maybe the NBA does expand to Louisville. Moving on, another Missouri city, I'm sure a lot of you guys guessed it, is St. Louis. And now St. Louis does not have an NFL team, however they used to with the Rams at one point. But now they only have 2, with the St. Louis Blues and the St. Louis Cardinals. And St. Louis, it is not a terribly small market, and maybe fans would like a team in there. I mean, St. Louis, you got Chicago, so maybe the Bulls are probably the closest team, for St. Louis residents, but I'm sure a lot of them would love to just have a team in the area. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, hopefully I'm not, but the Blues and Cardinals, from what I've seen, is that they're pretty good teams, and I'm sure if their sports teams start doing well, then maybe they do decide to, get an NBA team. In fact, there's even rumors that the team could relocate to St. Louis and that they could get an NFL team back. And if you ask me, St. Louis is definitely a team the NBA should have their eyes on, given the fact that they are not a terribly small market and fan interest can definitely increase there. This next one is kind of obvious, you could say, that is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, the Steelers are one of the most popular teams in the NFL, and they also got 3 sports teams with the Penguins, Pirates, and the Steelers. Now, why not complete the 4-headed monster, the sports monster, in Pittsburgh with the basketball team? Cleveland is 3 hours from Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh to Philadelphia is 5 hours, and Pittsburgh to Buffalo is 3 hours. So, Pittsburgh is a decently sized market, and I'm sure fan interest is more than high, as the Steelers, they got a really strong fan base, and they already got 2 more sports teams. And if you ask me, Pittsburgh is a decently big market, and with high fan interest, I don't see why the NBA should not consider Pittsburgh, if you ask me, and I'm sure a lot of Pittsburgh residents would love a basketball team. Moving on, this one might be kind of strange, and that is Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, Cincinnati has two sports teams with the Reds and the Bengals, and Cincinnati to Cleveland is a 4-hour drive. So, fan interest, I don't know how, I wouldn't say it's crazy high. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Cincinnati hasn't been in like heavy rumors, but maybe there's a chance that the NBA does decide to expand to Cincinnati. Now, Cincy is not a big market, so there is that for you. But if the team is good enough, and I guess if fan interest is high enough, then maybe they decide to expand to Cincinnati, Ohio. I mean, the Bengals, they got Joe Burrow, and if the Bengals start winning games soon enough, then maybe sports in Cincinnati could definitely become like a pretty big thing. Like, you know, fan interest can be a lot higher. Then maybe they do decide to move a team to Cincinnati. But anyways, moving on to my final team, it is Baltimore, final city, it is Baltimore, Maryland, as I was saying before. Now, Baltimore already has two teams based in the area with the Ravens and the Orioles, and the closest team is the Washington Wizards. And while the Wizards, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong if you guys do live in Maryland, while I'm sure like a lot of people that decide to go with the closest team in the Wizards, however, I mean, I've been thinking about this, and why not give them their own team? I mean, first off, the Ravens already have a bright future, and if the Ravens and Orioles both decide to, you know, doing good, then, I mean, fan interest in Baltimore can definitely increase. Not only that, but Baltimore is a decently sized market, so they really don't have to worry about that really that much. So if you ask me, Baltimore should definitely be in consideration. I mean, if you ask me, fan interest should probably increase. I mean, while they do have the Wizards who are pretty close, I mean, why not bring one based in Baltimore? I mean, the NFL has Washington and Baltimore have based teams. So does the MLB. And if you ask me, Baltimore is definitely like a really underrated place that's just not being talked about enough. But aside from that, that's all I'm gonna say for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure you guys hit that like button so this video does well, as it did take some time and a lot of hard work to make this video. Also, if you guys are new and enjoy the content on here, make sure you guys subscribe so you do not miss out on any new content. There are videos like this already on the channel, and there will be more in the future. I am also trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean a lot to me if we could reach that goal. And once we hit that goal, I will react to my first 2 videos I ever made on this channel. So if you guys want to see that and enjoy the content on here, make sure you guys subscribe. But with that being said, I'm out, you guys.